Want to learn about finding writing inspiration for your books? Then this is the episode for you. My name is author Tonya Duncan Ellis, and I'm here with an episode of Write This, my author interview show. And I will be interviewing Ellen Leventhal to talk about her author journey and to get some tips to help us in getting inspiration as we start our writing projects. I see her here now. I'm going to see if you can join. So, Ellen, I have sent you an invitation. Just wait for the invitation, click it, and you can join me. Okay, great.
Hi, that took a while.
Yeah, how are you? So good
I'm
to see
good. I,
you.
I always worry about technology, and I obviously have reason to worry about it
Well,
today.
I'm glad you're here, and it's so good to see you. This topic is really interesting and something that many people are interested in because I get DMs and messages from people all the time who are interested in writing their own book. And when we get into New Year's and New Year's resolutions, many people want to write a book. So, getting tips on how to get inspired and how to come up with topics is very timely. So, I'm so happy to have you on.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and this is my first Instagram Live, so I feel like I'm kind of jumping all over here, but here we go.
Well, you're doing great. Yes.
Getting inspiration. Yeah, I think so many of us walk around and think, oh, maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do this. Maybe I could do this. And so there's always this little spark that we have. I think the hard part is doing it.
Exactly.
It's really funny. My road to publication has been very long, circuitous, rocky.
Mm.
So I want to, I don't know if you can see this.
Yes.
Don't eat the blue bonnets.
I love
Can
that.
you see
And
that?
pull it back a little bit so we can see it better. Yes, it's so
Ah,
cute. I love
there
that.
we go. Thank you.
Mhm.
Well, the story of that was an interesting one. My friend Ellen Rothberg and I had been writing middle grade novels. Not well, mind you, because we hadn't really learned the craft yet, but we got some good feedback on it. And then one day she found a contest. So, guys, I want to tell you, two of my books are published because of contests. They're
Wow.
scary, but it's worth it. If you want to do it, you got to kind of jump out there. So,
Mhm.
anyway, she found a contest about writing picture books. We did not know how to write picture books, but we entered the contest. We came up and we were one of the top 10. And
Wow.
then we got this thing back from the editor. When I go into schools, it's really funny because I show them what the editor and publisher sent back to us. And she's like, oh, I love this. But it had red marks all
Oh.
over it. And what she said, and I think this is really important, she said, you're good writers. There's Kathy Nickel. Hi. You're good writers, but you don't know how to write a picture book.
Oh.
And so those of you who are joining us, they're very different beasts. So we took some classes and we got a lot of things critiqued and we ended up winning this contest. And part of that was publication. So it was great.
Now, what
Then
was the contest, Ellen?
I
Is
don't
it
think it's
still
around
available?
anymore.
Oh, okay.
It was the ABC Children's Writing Contest. But I will tell you about another contest that way down the road I won. Well, I can't say won. It
Hmm.
was part of it for my Flood of Kindness book. So
Ah.
anyway, um, the publisher that published Don't Eat the Blue Bonnets decided it was too expensive to do kids' books anymore, but we were lucky. Another publisher picked it up. And the good
Mhm.
thing about that was I got to do my favorite thing, which is not everyone's favorite thing, but I got to revise the book even more. You know
Oh.
how Tanya, you probably know this. I think we all have, after our books are published, a little bit like, oh, maybe I should have put this someplace else, or maybe. So I got the chance to do that. Our our inspiration for that was we saw a cow in the bluebonnet patch, and my friend said to me, wonder what would happen if those cows ate those bluebonnets. So we jumped. So so that was the inspiration for the first book. Um, I get inspiration from really strange ways. For Lola Can't Leap, I was watching a TV show and there was a commercial about a lamb jumping over the fence. I think it was a mattress commercial. And I said to my husband, it's a good thing I'm not a lamb or a sheep because I am clumsy. I would never make it over the fence. And that's how I got that inspiration.
That's what I really like. When I met you, I think this past summer at an event
Yeah,
in our area here in Texas. And what I noticed and loved so much is they show our lifestyle, because even A Flood of Kindness talks about the flood which we experienced with Hurricane Harvey here, the
right.
bluebonnet. So you're bringing in your life in your writing.
Yeah, I think that's what we all kind of have to do. But yes, the flood book has to do with a contest again. I did write it after Hurricane Harvey. I was one of those unlucky people who flooded 2015, 2016, and
Oh
2017.
my goodness.
And people kept asking me, why aren't you writing a kid's book about this? I had been writing blogs and poetry, all adult stuff. I just wasn't there yet. And I thought I had to find the thread. After Harvey, I started thinking, and I started thinking about the floods before. The thread was always there. The people were so kind. Everybody worked together. I
Mhm.
was out of town for the Memorial Day flood, and when I came back, we had lost just about everything. And I looked around, and there were people all over.
Oh.
Okay, so here is the contest. If any of you write picture books, there's something called PB Party, Picture Book Party. And I think it's in March. I'm not really sure, but Tonya, I'll send you the info so you can let all your fans know about it.
Okay, I'll put it in the show notes. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so what happens is you send basically pitches, and they pick I don't know, there's hundreds and hundreds, and they pick like 50 pitches and they put them online, and editors and agents go down and look and ask for your book, ask for the full. And one editor, well, a few liked it, but one agent actually came all the way through. A lot of them, it was like, yeah, we like it, but no thanks.
Mhm.
And all of the writers out there know that's pretty common. Um, and one of the editors, Mary Cummings, really liked it, and she sold it within 6 months. Now, I have to tell you that a friend of mine posted, oh, I'm in the finals for a picture book party. And I didn't even think about looking because I just knew I wasn't going to be.
Oh.
So it's, take that leap of faith. It's hard. It's really hard for me. Um, that's one reason I don't get as many queries out as I'd like to, because I'm always like, it's enough. It's all good enough, guys.
Now, do you have an agent?
I don't right
Oh,
now,
oh,
which,
okay.
and yeah, I'd really like one, I think. I sold my last book. Wait a minute. Ah, whoa.
Oh,
This one, it's called Debbie's Song. I
I
sold
remember seeing that.
that without an agent.
Oh, you do
And
well. So you're doing good. Well, how
yeah,
did you do that? Did you just go to the editor, or what did you?
okay. For that, it's very niche. It's about a Jewish singer who basically had all of the values that I really respect: inclusion and letting people's voices heard, people who historically have not had before that, hadn't been listened to. Um, and I loved her music. And I knew that this is a funny story too. There were two Jewish presses that were looking for stories like that. And the first one actually asked me, and I had 3 R&Rs with them. That's, if anyone is not a writer here, that's redo and resubmit, revise and resubmit. And then they ended up saying, no, we really
That's
like your writing.
terrible. Ooh.
I was like, 3 R&Rs? Are you kidding me?
Ooh.
But what they said was that they liked my writing. They'd like to see more work, but they don't like the way I chose to tell the story. Okay, fair. I had done so much on it. I just found this other one who happens to be a bigger poet, is part of Learner. And I sent it to them, and I got back from their editor. I get a lot of submissions on this person, Debbie Friedman, but I love the way you chose to tell it. So what does that
That's
tell us, guys?
hilarious.
It's all subjective.
Right.
And can I do a little plug? It
Sure.
just was included Tablet Magazine, which is it's a Jewish magazine, but it's very, it sounds so funny, like it has a religion. It talks about Jewish topics.
Mhm.
And Debbie's song was just named one of the top 10 Jewish
Yeah.
children's books for 2023.
And I know
So,
that feels so good. You ought to message the ones that rejected it. Say, no.
oh, there's a story about that too, but we won't get into that.
Yeah, that's
Um,
congratulations. That's wonderful.
thank you.
And listening to you, it just makes me feel so good. I'm still thinking about a flood of kindness because to me that's genius because
Thank you.
that's how I felt in my neighborhood after even
Oh, right.
Hurricane Ike,
I
and all
um,
that you felt that feeling of kindness and love in our community. So you perfectly capture that.
oh, thank you. It was, I kept thinking, why didn't I write about this before? I kept thinking about it. But for that, talk about inspiration. I was teaching part-time at the time, and everybody, if there's any Houstonians here, we know that everyone was affected, whether you flooded. If you didn't flood, you knew someone who did. If you
Mhm.
weren't living with someone else, someone was living with you. It was, so I asked the kids I worked with what made them feel better. I knew what made me feel better, that it never left my mind that, yes, I lost everything. But I had insurance. Granted, it didn't do a lot, but I
Mhm.
had places to go when I needed to. And I never forgot that there are people who didn't. So even though I had gone through that, the ability to help others made me feel a little better. I
Mhm.
mean, I think so many of us are used to being the ones who help. And it's really kind of difficult to be on the other side because you want to say, well, I'll do it. And you get to a point where no, you have to admit, I need some help.
Mhm.
So my students all were saying that the same thing. I said, did anybody, ever, what did you do with your little sister when she was crying about the flood? And they would tell me, and I thought, there's my story. So
Right.
again, it's not only Houston life, it was my exact life that I was going through. And I was able to write it because of my students, because I had
Right.
to make sure it would ring true, that they would really give a teddy bear away. Um, you know, it
And
was.
something I thought of as you were speaking too, I'm working with another writer who is wanted critique on picture books that her manuscripts. And I was telling her, especially she wants to get them traditionally published to draw on her own unique experience. And
Yes.
I can see that in you. It's not just I mean, there's floods everywhere, but you're drawing on your own personal experiences.
Yeah, and that one I did. I don't do it on everyone, and I have stories that really I'm sending out now, but I think without realizing, we all have something from us. I mean, I know I'm going to have to plug your stories, all of them. The Sophie Washingtons are great, and if you don't know, she has another really good. She has a good. It's a picture book, right? Emancipation Class
Yes.
One. I assume it's
Mhm.
announced.
Okay,
But
yeah. Thank
hi,
you.
Sita. um, Anyway, I think we all have that in us. I wrote, it's not published, might never get published, but it's about a rooster who is the one who wants to take care of the chicks. And the head rooster doesn't like that. And the refrain is there's more than one way to be a rooster. So, it's that kind of came from my experience too. I'm old enough to have been in the original, walking around like with my Ms. Magazine shirt, and I remember when it was very unusual for the men to take care of kids. It's not like that now, but still, it's so I had to come up with this character who was very conservative and no, roosters have a job to do and they can't do any other job. So, I mean, I'm not a rooster, but it still comes from my experience, not with my own husband. He's great. He's taking care of the kids, and you know
Yeah.
he's one of those guys who when someone said, oh, your husband's babysitting, and he said, no, I'm taking care of my children.
Hey, yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
So yeah, I think inspiration, just open your mind to it. And I think for me the hard part is then taking what I want to write about and making it into a story, which
Exactly.
is
And when you were talking about inspiration too, I was thinking, are you familiar with the book The Artist Way? I
yes.
don't remember
Yes.
the name of the author. Yeah, I love that one. I read it
Yes.
before the pandemic, like right before the pandemic hit.
No.
Somebody gifted me the book, and it talks about taking an artist date with yourself, like going once a week to different places. And that actually led me to write my upcoming picture book, They Built Me for Freedom. There were many things that inspired that book, but I started taking trips to different places, and that led me to go to that park, places I
Yeah.
was interested in. And then that was when I was inspired to write about the park. And actually, another book that I'm selling, or that I don't have an announcement on it, but it came from taking a trip, just going somewhere out of curiosity that I'm interested in.
Well, actually, my rooster story, which hasn't sold, so I can talk about it now. It's not any place. They're like, oh, this is really nice, but. Um, we were in Hawaii once, and I
Oh,
did see that. I saw the roosters like walking with the chicks and the hen going off, and I was like, that's so cool.
oh yeah, because is that in Kauai or?
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
have them where they're all around. Yeah, that's
all
cool.
around.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
neat. But this has been great because a lot of times people are just writing about different things that you see everywhere that are ubiquitous. But if you think about things that have some kind of personal connection to you from your
Hmm.
own experience or things you've seen, that can be a great source of inspiration.
Yeah. And I think when you're writing about things that, it's, how can I put this? Don't write to fad. You know,
Yeah.
I I wish I could write a graphic novel. I can't. I know I can't. Um, maybe someday I'll take classes and learn. But I do believe that the best manuscripts are the ones that you can tell, that author wrote it. In our query letters, sometimes they say, why are you the one that, query, what's it called? Query manager. Why are you the one to write that book?
Right.
And so just pulling things from the air, I think it works with some people. But as I'm looking at some of the people here, I know a lot of their books came from their heart. I know their books. And yeah, I mean, and funny things can come from the heart, but it could still be. I have one that I'm working on, a rhyming one, and it's just about a little girl trying, or a boy, I don't say anything, a child trying to find the perfect place to read this perfect book. And it's just a quick little sweet thing. But I can remember the perfect place that I used to like to read when I was a kid.
That's nice. That's
Yeah.
sweet. And all kids, yeah, many kids have that little special hideaway or
Hmm.
place that they could relate to that. So that's
Yeah.
nice. Mhm. Well, Ellen, I want to thank you for taking this
Thank
time.
you.
And again, before we leave, can you tell us the names of your books and how people can purchase them?
Well, let's see. I'm going to go in order.
And also where they can find you. Tell us where they can connect with you too.
Oh, yeah. Please go to my website. It's not hard. It's www.ellenleventhal.com. And just to tell you that Tonya, at some point we're going to talk because Tonya will be on my blog,
Oh,
and
I'm looking
I will
forward to
send.
that.
Well, we'll talk later. And all the books are, I'd say, Don't Eat the Bluebonnets and Lola Can't Lead. Right now, I think Amazon's the best place for A Flood of Kindness and A Flood of Kindness. Okay, here's a little hint. It's really inexpensive right now on Amazon,
Oh.
which makes me nervous. I'm hoping it's not going out of print, but it's like half price now. And if you get it on Amazon, you got or if you get it any place, this is for everybody. You have my website. So it's www.ellenleventhal.com. You can contact me and I will send you, just tell me I saw you with Tonya, and I'll send you a book plate, a
Oh, that's
personalized book plate.
sweet. Oh, great for the
And
holidays.
yeah, and the same thing for Debbie's song. I'll do the same thing. And they can be bought pretty much anywhere. But the big deal is for Flood on Amazon. It's a
I'm
really
going to
good
check that
deal.
out when we get off of here because I
Yeah,
love that book. I didn't get
yeah.
it when I
Thank
saw
you.
you in person. It looks so
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah, it's a beautiful book.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay. Well,
All right.
thank you again for taking this time, Ellen. I so
Thank
enjoyed our
you.
conversation. Look forward to being on your blog.
And I look forward to seeing you in person soon. I mean, we're
Yes.
close.
Yeah, we're having our Houston holiday party for our SCBWI. If you're going to that, I'm
Yeah,
planning on going to that
I
too.
think I am going. Are you going
Okay.
to be there?
Yes. So
I'll
I'll be
see you in
seeing
a few weeks then.
ready to pie.
Okay, great.
And thank you,
Okay.
everybody who has tuned in this week. And
Thank
we'll see
you.
you next week for another fun episode of Write This. Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye. Just get off now.